Hello everyone, today's lesson is lesson 48, creating and reading a bar graph and creating and reading a Venn diagram. Okay, so here we're going to make a graph that shows the number of children in our families. Okay, and as we've done before, when we make a bar graph, we have what we're measuring down at the bottom. Okay, so this one is saying how many people have 1 child in the family, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 children. Okay, so let's say that we have 1 student that's an only child, so only 1 child in the family. And we have 3 people that have 2 children in the family, so I fill in 3 bars. We have 2 people that have 3 children in the family, so I'd fill in 2 bars. Let's say that there's 5 that have 4 children. We'll say no one has 5 children. And we'll say just 1 person has more than 6 children in their family. Okay, so this would be our bar graph. Now let's write a title for the bar graph. And so the title should be what we're measuring. So this should be number of children in our families. You always need a title, because it tells us what we're measuring. Okay, all right. So we can have a different type of graph. So let's say we write down all the names of all the children in the family, and you would write your own name because you're a child in the family. Okay, and we want to see how many girls and boys we have in our families. Okay. So let's say there's someone that only has boys in the family. Okay. So if we have someone with only boys in the family, then it would look like this. But it's hard to do a bar graph to show if we only have boys or only have girls. Okay? Because this is showing I only have boys and girls. But what if I have both boys and girls? Okay? So what we do is we make a Venn diagram. A Venn diagram can help us see how many boys and girls we have in the family, or what families only have boys or only have girls. Okay. Now, if I wanted, I could have these circles separate from each other, but I know some families have both boys and girls. Okay. So when I make my Venn diagram, I would write down the names of the students that have only boys in the class, or have only boys in their family. Okay, so let's say that John, Mark, Adam, and Isaac, those students only have boys in their families. So I would write their names in the only boys circle. Okay, so let's see. And let's pretend that we have some girls that only have girls in their family. So let's say that Mary and Sue only have girls. So I'd put their names in the circle that talks about only having girls. Now, where the 2 circles overlap is this section right here. And that's where we write down who has both boys and girls in the family. So let's say that we have 4 people that have both. There's Lizzie, Sarah, and then we have Lee, and we have Bob. Okay, so we can see from this Venn diagram that 4 of our students have both boys and girls, 4 students only have boys in their family, and 2 students only have girls. So in this case, a Venn diagram helps us see the families with boys, only girls, or both, where a graph really couldn't show us that, or a bar graph couldn't show us that. Okay, and that's it for today's lesson. Good luck on your homework.